most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Shaw, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Believe it or not, today we're going to talk about push-ups. And he hated them until age 58. And he's going to show today how to conquer them.
Right, absolutely. Actually, I used to do them when I was in my 20s. Kind of got away from it. Never got back into it. They're kind of hard to do, awkward, to make my wrists hurt. All those things I taken care of, and it's going to show you on this. You know, push-ups, they're long history to push-ups. In the military, they talk about the history of getting strong upper body and whatnot. Great arms, shoulders, and core, which is really advantageous.
The other thing is they're very good for cardio.
Yeah.
In fact, we had done a video that showed that if you were able to do 40 push-ups,
right,
your likelihood of having a cardiac event in the next 20, 30 years was like 0%. Because that was the indicator that you were in good shape.
Exactly. And, 0%. I was kind of wondering about that. But we know it improves it for sure.
In the study, there was 0% of people that had a heart problem, a heart attack.
Excellent.
By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload it every day. Also, talking about cardio, if you want to improve yours, go to the giveaway section at bobandbrad.com, and we're giving away a stationary bike here that can be used at a desk. It's awesome. Brad, you got to show the one feature. The one feature, how it rolls and unlocks in place.
Right now it's locked because I have weight on it. Now weight's off. Easily
you don't have to lock a brake or anything like that. You can go to Facebook. It'll also be pinned to the top of the page, the contest.
That's right.
Go to Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program where we don't ramble on.
Bob, I just want to say we're on podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, I did want to say I was kind of stuck there in my mind. It looked like I didn't know what I was talking about, which is pretty typical. But we're going to show you a technique on how to progress with push-ups so you don't burn yourself out. You don't get to that point where you get sore muscles, sore arms, and you say, I hate them. We don't want that. And we're going to show you how to do that.
We're going to give you a lot of pearls of wisdom.
Right. I'm talking about the Russian exercise guru.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
one of but we're going to wait. Okay. So push-ups, Bob, as we talked about, great way to get in shape. It's body weight. You can do them anywhere. You can do them out at the lake, at the beach. You can do them in the office, in your bedroom, in the living room.
You might use equipment. You might not.
Right. Exactly right. So the biggest rule is too much too soon.
Right.
Is you're going to take your time with it to get started. Now, myself, starting at 58, my wrists are not as flexible as they used to be. So when I would do push-ups, I would be limited by wrist pain, and it's no fun. I want to exercise my muscles, not beat up my wrist. By the way,
I want to mention something, Brad. Okay. You just did a video on wrist pain.
Yeah.
And I have seen so many positive comments about it. And the people that had pain for years that are saying that it feels better.
Yeah, there's some.
I applaud you.
Well, thank you. There's some specific stretches on there that they're just. I don't know if I invented them or not.
I think you invented them.
Anyways, let's carry on. What you do if you have wrist pain from hyperextension is you get yourself some dumbbells, or this is what I use, and I really like these, the perfect push-up.
Right.
And what that does is it keeps your wrists in neutral position. But before we get to there, if you haven't done any push-ups for a long time, I'm going to advise doing a modified push-up first. Countertop works the best.
I'm going to sit on this here, Brad. Yeah.
So a solid surface like a countertop. You can use a chair if it's solid or if someone's sitting on there.
You could use a wall.
Yep, you can use a wall. I'm going to start here because, if you go to the wall...
You're going to hit your head.
Well, not only that, it's fairly easy if you can't do a wall push-up. So I'm going to assume...
You can't slant that much on a wall because you're going to hit your head.
This is a nice way to do it. And we're just going to start out here. And if you can do 10 push-ups like this without any problem at all, go on. If you're having problems... it's difficult by the time you get to 7 or 8. Work with these for a few days. I would not do them day after day either. Do them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Get a day in between there so your muscles can rebuild if you get sore.
And start thinking about form right away. Start thinking about, now you want to tighten your glutes, your butt, And you want to tighten your abdomen.
Right.
You don't want to sag like this.
Or this one, you know.
Right. You want to be a straight line. You might have to look in a mirror. You might have someone visually look at you to help you out.
Exactly. You know, and you really, I think I'm straight here. How does that looks good, Tanner?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, and I'm tight here. I'm really, I feel my core working when I do my push-ups.
Yeah.
So
get that down before you go to the next one.
Right.
Make sure your form is perfect.
Right. When you can do them against the cupboard or a solid chair, you know, then it may be time to go to the floor. And we're going to go here. Now, when I get to the floor, that's when I'm either going to use my dumbbells. Where'd my perfect push-ups go? I'm going to show you the difference between these. So this works good for a neutral wrist. It'll eliminate that. It's just more comfortable overall, I think. Okay, so we're going to go down to the floor to eliminate the wrist problem. Keep it neutral. Dumbbells, you just have to make sure the diameter here is big enough. You'll know because your knuckles will hit
This is a great one, Brad. I think if you have dumbbells already, to give it a try.
Yep.
To see if it works for you.
Exactly. The benefit of these is that the handle's a little bit better.
It's the perfect push-up.
But it allows rotation. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But because I don't rotate a lot when I do them, but I get a little bit. And I think that offers some relief on my wrist joints and maybe my shoulders, but there's a little...
I thought so too. That it's easier on the body.
Yeah, and they're not that expensive. But again, this works well. I'm going to continue with these because that's what I do.
But again, right away you want to think, tighten those abs, tighten those glutes.
Right. Now,
and keep that back straight.
If 10 is your max, I want you to do 5.
Right.
That's big. If you practice every time to do your max, it's just counterproductive.
Yes.
You're going to burn out. There's a good chance you'll burn out. In other words, psychologically, you say, I've had it.
So like Pavel, who's a great strength and conditioning coach, he would recommend like doing 40% or 50% of what you're able to do, but do it throughout the day. So in the end, you know, first off, you don't get to the point where you dread it, because you're working yourself to the max every time. But also, if you find out you spread it out throughout the day, all of a sudden you have 20 reps in, and it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
You 5 at a time.
Exactly. So you may do, if your max is 10, you're going to do 5. And sometimes what I'll do, I'll break it up. I'll do half of what I do. My max is 48 right now. Actually, I take that back. I'm up a little bit. So I'll do 20 to 25. And that took me 6-8 months to get into.
That's very impressive, Brad.
But it's my goal to do 59 push-ups on my 59th birthday.
You're kind of sounding like a braggart.
I don't care. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's just the way it is.
All right.
But so you're going to start out at 5, and you will get better if you do them consistently. There's no doubt about it, because I hated them, a year ago. Your
muscles are not only getting stronger, but your neurological system is learning to be more efficient.
Exactly.
It's hard. That's so hard for people to understand.
Yeah, and this next point I want to bring up is you have to learn how to relax while you do push-ups, and you do that by breathing properly.
Right.
If you hold your breath, which a lot of people aren't aware of, it's going to greatly limit your endurance
capacity.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear this or not. So I'm going down, and as I push up, I breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and my core is tight. My shoulders and arm muscles are working as they need to, but I try to keep my legs loose. I know when if I do a max rep, my quads start to tighten up so bad because I'm just doing everything I can, and I'm almost afraid of getting cramps in my quads, which is weird. So avoid that. You don't ever have to do max if you don't want to. If you just want to get in shape,
you can do a max once every 6 months if you want to see where you're at.
Yeah, and just see, and you'll be amazed that your max will get better even though you never do your max.
And plus, you're going to enjoy it a lot more. You don't want to get to the point where you just like dread, I'm going to be doing push-ups now. You want to I'm going to do my 5 or do my 4, and that's good enough for me.
Exactly.
Do a bunch of them.
Yeah, and you'll find that things continually progress. You're going to have the muscles toning up. I think
we're going to mention Kelly Starr too.
Oh, sure.
Kelly Starr wrote the book The Supple Leopard, and he talks about there's a lot of information in this book. If you get older and want to get some more mobility, it's great for that. But he goes over the proper form for push-ups.
Yeah, he's an exercise guru. as of late. You know, in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
he's become very popular.
Check out his channel too, because he would show how to do a correct push-up, I'm sure, on his YouTube channel.
Exactly.
So just-
and he does mention a few other little things that as you get into push-ups more, you may want to learn from
Check
another
out.
expert
Yeah.
besides us.
Brad, were you going to show resistance too?
Thank you, Bob. Now, for those of you who really want to increase your max, increase your strength, or maybe you just don't want to do as many reps, but with more
Right.
resistance, and you don't want to gain weight to get that resistance.
Right.
You get yourself these loop bands, and the way I work with these is you go over your back, like this, and so you're going to do, you can do push-ups just like this. It doesn't work. It's okay.
Starting.
Yeah, it's a starter.
Yeah.
But if you want to add resistance to your normal GI push-up, this is how you can do that. And actually, I'm going to go elbows around. You do it however works best for you. That works better for me.
Can you do these with the perfect push-up, Brad?
Oh, I think so. I'm going to use my thumbs in here. And when you get these loop bands, there's usually 4 or 5 different resistance levels, so
Right.
you can change it. There we go.
And you probably won't be able to get up to the purple here. That would be a monster.
Oh, the purple. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you were thinking maybe the green
Or
one.
the
which is,
green would even be
Yeah.
more.
oh my
But-
goodness.
It's funny, we were kind of resistant to the loop bands at first,
Yeah.
I think, but now we've really come to embrace them.
Oh yeah,
And use them in a lot of different
yeah.
things.
They're part of my workout,
So
and these are kind of fun if you can go like this. They spin and they work like. I'm not gonna do that. Last time I did the old like it was a cardiac
yeah,
shock.
clear.
Yeah, I won't do it this time, Bob.
All right, remember, Brad, I can fix just about anything.
Except for,
A broken heart,
and this is part of that
but we will give
protocol.
advice too.
Yeah. Well, it's not worth much, but take care.
What you paid for it.